people handle stress and conflict and all of that, I used to hang this up in my office to remind me. Primary, secondary, okay, this person's a collaborator, so they're looking a little frustrated. It appears Mount Vesuvius is about to go off here. Maybe I should bring them into the office and have a conversation. Or the inquisitor is feeling really stressed out because there's a lot of conflict on the team. So, they're going to avoid emotional expression and contact. So pulling them into my office and trying to force them to go through it might not be my best move. You want me to send you this, Keith? I will. You know what? Send me an email because that way I can just respond to it. But I'll send you all of this if you want. And I don't know. I'll have to look and see because I usually put together student guides for these classes. So if you go out on campus and it says student guide, I wrote it. It matches up with the entire course. Yeah, you post it everywhere. See, it's some of these things you don't even think about until we have a chance to talk about it in a classroom environment like this. And I find it to be a fascinating topic if you're fascinated by people and communication styles. How do we motivate that person or communicate? Collaborators like straightforward. They're like affiliation oriented. So they like to know, oh, here's what I think and here's how I think you're doing a great job and let's collaborate about it and figure out a solution. A contributor, keep things calm, keep it very kind of calm. Inquisitors, we want to give them facts and data. We don't want to say, how are you feeling today? We're going to say, oh, that TPC report. Here's your red stapler. Director, they're going to make quick decisions, whether they're in charge or not. Sometimes they're more leading, and we need to reel them back into that supportive arena when we're managing stakeholder expectations. All right, so here's a communication checklist, just some things to be aware of. Understand the process, be aware of areas where the communication process and misunderstanding can occur. What's the best medium for your message? And I like to set up distribution or mail folders, subfolders, and so on, and have team rules. And keep my emails as brief as possible. I attempt to be diplomatic in all things. And if I'm copying somebody, I want to make sure whether or not I should copy. Don't you hate when people copy everybody? Like when they're trying to make a point and they copy your boss? Like, really? My boss doesn't need to know that. That's really seen as kind of a threatening, hostile work environment, unless it's necessary to copy them. And then that reply all or forward to everybody. And instant messaging etiquette or chat text etiquette. It's called netiquette. It's definitely something that's important. All right, so how do we do this? Now, here's the difference between the communications management plan and your stakeholder management plan, because a lot of times there's some overlap or people get confused as to what it is. Google Vault, I can see if they CC'd my boss. Yeah, you're like, I'm going to log that one away. I saw you. You CC'd my boss. Yeah, I'm going to let you know how I feel about that if I'm a collaborator expressively. Communications management and stakeholder management. Remember, stakeholder management is a knowledge area, used to be part of communications management. And so they stripped that away and they separated them out and they say, all right, communication management plan, yes, is going to define stakeholder communication requirements. The information to be communicated, the level of detail, the reason for distribution, who's the person authorized for confidential or protocol types of situations, and then the person or groups who will receive the information. It's all about distribution and the rules for communication, whereas stakeholder management is what's their level of interest and impact? What is our strategy for their communication needs? Understanding who they are, or at least what their communication styles are, so we can engage them appropriately and certainly adjust and adapt your strategy. Sometimes when teams are going through that forming stage and they don't really know each other, true personality or communication styles don't come out. And then all of a sudden you're in storming and you see the secondary communication style come out and you're like, okay. And then norming, everybody's themselves and they started to get to know each other. So it's very tough to put together a strategy for stakeholders unless you know them well. So we have to adapt and adjust and make sure we're keeping on top of it once we gain more information.